House of Hits studio in Miami. The premier audio and visual studio experience in the world. Undisputed, undeniable, can't be refuted on any level. When you walk through these doors, you are walking into greatness, supreme being. DJ Khaled, Mary J. Blige, Busta Rhymes, Jack Harlow, the Migos, Kanye West, The Game, when they want to document their greatness and record their legacy. In Miami, when they touch down, House of Hits Studios. Period. There's certain places you go, there's certain environments you want to be inside to reach your optimum level, your zenith. When people go and play the Madison Square Garden in New York City, they play at a higher level than they do in any other stadium. That's because they know the history of that building. Same thing here with the House of Hits studio in Miami. The ecosystem they've created is on another level. Hip hop since 1987, the number one hip hop blog and media outlet in the world, undisputed, cannot be denied, cannot be refuted. Since 1987, they have been the most connected brand to the streets, documenting the authentic stories without compromising integrity. They don't do it for clout at Hip Hop since 1987. They do it for the purity of the game, giving you the real story. The first Meek Mill freestyle ever recorded on Hip Hop since 1987. Sitting down with Nipsey Hussle back in 2014 talking about Victory Lap before it was even released. Shout out to the great Nipsey Hussle. Hip Hop since 1987, House of Hits Studios in Miami. Two juggernauts, two conglomerates. Now we document history. Now we record our legacy. Welcome to the Hip Hop since 1987 podcast, coming to you live from the House of Hits studio in Miami. Let's get it, people. You know how we do it.
People, we live right now in the House of Hits studios, coming to you from the world's most dopest musical ecosystem in Miami. When you walk through these doors in the House of Hits studio, it's like you feel like you've arrived, not just in life, but just in what you're doing in your career and in your profession. When we launched this podcast, House of Hits with Hip Hop since 1987, I wanted to bring together partners that I felt reflected the energy and the spirit and the culture of what it was like to create something from scratch, watch it plant the seeds, watch it bloom, and then let the world see the beauty of its essence. When you smell a rose, there's nothing like it in the world. It's the most desired plant that you want to give to somebody you love is a red rose. Not white, not yellow. That's what this is about. I could have done the podcast anywhere. I could have took this to any platform. It was only divine inspiration that it came here, because Vinny and his team and his brother and the engineers that work so diligently to make sure that every audio recording experience is on that Thriller level, that Quincy Jones level. And there's no other platform to talk about hip-hop and entertainment than hip-hop since 1987. Still black-owned, still the rawest and the most purest form of journalism in the game when you want to read who could be next. Ain't no pay for play. It's just the raw, authentic talent coming from the streets. No knocking no other platforms, but they don't do it like that. Today is no different. When I interview people, it's different. It's special. I pick them. I want them. It's not a pay for play thing. It's an investment thing, because I feel that they are pushing the boundaries of creativity in their field. They are leaving huge footprints that other people can follow. And most importantly, they're taking the calculated risks that most people want in order to be great. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Tim Cook, Michael Dell, Bill Gates, Puffy, Russell Simmons, Birdman, Slim, all these people that start these great companies was from struggle. Nobody gave Jeff Bezos anything. Nobody gave Michael Dell anything. He actually dropped out of school and made computers from his dorm. Everything that's great comes from desperation and creative genius. I'm speaking to Preston Dent today. Author, filmmaker, entrepreneur, dope father, a person that understands incarceration and understands the essence and the power of freedom. Welcome to the House of Hits, Hip Hop Since 1987 studio. Preston Dent, welcome to the platform. How you feeling, brother?
Hey, man, I'm blessed, man. I'm just happy to be here, man. You know, quick flight, you know what I mean, from the cold to the warmth. So, hey, I'm just happy to be in the presence, man.
Listen, you know how to give you that Diddy intro, right? All
Absolutely.
off the dome.
That's all. I always like it.
Soak up that freestyle, right?
I always love it.
Soak up that freestyle, man. That's what makes it beautiful, man, because everything I said comes from a pure place. And when you're speaking from purity, it can never be wrong, right?
Right.
Which leads us into the first point. Your lens is different from the average person because you're a filmmaker, you're an author. So when you walk out your door, your eyes, God bless you with an ability to see something nobody else can see, to feel things nobody can feel. So you put that on pen and paper to write a book. You put it in a movie so people can feel that pain or feel that joy or feel whatever essence you want to bring to the table. When did you know that you had that?
Well, you know, I started out as a writer, you know, like writing little girls' poems. You know, I was like the best poem writer in the class. So I knew I always had the writing technique. But I didn't realize that I had the vision for film and all that till I got a little older, to after I already been through the music stage, already been through the author stage. But once I got to the author stage and I realized, like, wow, I got so many ideas, just too many for me to write in the book form. So I had to figure something else out to do. And that's what made me develop the film. Because now I could take these stories and write them into movies. They don't take as long. I don't got to write 1,000 words for this story.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what made me get into film. Because I had too many ideas, too many concepts to put in the book form. So then I had to transition them into movies.
Got it. Let me ask you this, and thank you for breaking that down. That was very transparent. When you felt that, when you knew you started writing children's poems and everything like that, what were some of the triggers that came in your mind and your heart to say to write that? You know, sometimes, you know, like I hear Nas talk about he used to write things from looking out his window in Queens. Like, what triggered certain things? What sparked the things for you to write what you was writing back then?
Well, a lot of my stories came to me in a dream form.
Okay.
Like, a lot of them come to me in a dream. Like, I have a dream about something, and I'll wake up in the morning and hurry up and write down what I remember. And then 2 days from there, like, I'll sit on it for like 2 days, and then I'll just go ahead and write that story out if it's worth it. But now the other thing is, I might see something on the news. I might see something happening in my community. I might see something that somebody's going through. And I'm like, wow, you know, this could be a touching story. This story could help people. This story could change lives. Or this story could motivate people. And that'll give me the inspiration. That's another thing that will give me inspiration to write a story.
Let me tap into something. You brought up dreams. When you have a dream about something that came to you, like in a vision, how do you feel when you wake up in the morning? Like, explain what's going on in your mind, your heart. Explain it, because it's different for everybody.
Yeah,
like,
it's like real weird. It's like, for instance, like Cargon Evil Fairy.
Okay.
Like
Put
this,
it up.
like this was a dream. Like, I was actually in this planet. I'm in this planet, and I'm seeing all these black fairies. I'm seeing all these magical gods, wizards, you know, big birds flying around, and they're chasing me. You know, I'm trying to get back to Earth.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know where. It just came to me. I don't know what. I don't know why. I don't know how. But it came to me in my dream. I'm scared. I'm running. I got these crazy fairies that's chasing me. They're like human fairies, though. So they're chasing me through this forest, and it's like a planet. You know what I mean? The plants is talking, the trees is talking. You know, it's little plants that drinking tea and all this other type of stuff. And I'm trying to get back to my planet. So I'm asking the little tea people, yo, man, what the hell am I doing here? So it was this wizard that was like, and this is what woke me up. The wizard was chasing me. The wizard came chasing me, and he was trying to kill me. And that's what, you know, I woke up before he killed me. So that's what made me, you know, that's how it came in my dream.
Let me ask you this, Preston. Who was the first person that outside of yourself that co-sign your inventiveness or your creativity? Like, who was a person that you kind of went to and was talking about, and they saw it themselves and said, "Yo, you got something"? Like, who was the person? Who was like the first?
My mom.
Okay.
I mean, because every idea I have, I go to my mom, like, yo, Mom, what you think about this? What you think about this? My mom, she's a critic. Like, nothing's really good. So that's why I trust her when I go to her in my story. Like, nothing's good. Like, I go to her and tell her that I moonwalked on the moon. She say, son, I think you can do a little better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, your step was too slow. So that's why I use her as my critic. So anything I come up with, I go to my mom, like, Mom, what you think about this? What you think about that?
Let me rewind the tape for a little bit. Let's go back. We won't have to go so much in detail, but let's talk a little bit about your childhood, because I want to tie in your childhood to your greatness. When you were younger, what did you see in the world?
I mean, I come from a place, man, I come from it's different, a person that lived my life, they could understand it, but a person that didn't live my life probably wouldn't understand it. Like, I grew up in a house where, Dad was snorting cocaine, Dad had a gun, we was living in a project when we first moved to Harrisburg, and, pretty much like I grew up in an environment that you really got to go this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the kids in the neighborhood is they doing bad things, your cousins is doing bad things, so your uncles is doing bad things, and it's pretty much that's the way you have to go. Even though my mom would say, son, my mom don't want me in the streets, my mom don't want me, doing that type of stuff, but the choices were slim.
Seeing all those things, right? Coming up, you're 9, you're 10, you're 11, you're 12, you're 13, you're 14 years old.
Yeah.
All right, let's kind of fast forward to that part when you're 14, kind of a critical point of what you're seeing. How did Preston Dent view the world as a teenager? And then I want you to kind of delve into when you transform into adulthood, how did you merge those worlds together?
Well, see, at 13 is when things changed.
Okay, break that down for me.
Because I got shot when I was 13 and I died for 15 seconds.
Wow.
The doctor had to bring me back to life.
Lazarus effect.
Yeah, so
Like
that's
Lazarus.
when everything changed. I was in the hospital for a month. This technology wasn't as good then. Was in the hospital for a month. You know what I'm saying? Then I had asthma, ammonia, and all, almost died from that.
You got shot in the heart? You got shot in the
Not
lung?
right here.
Okay, and what area is that?
It's like on my left, on my left side.
About like the lung?
Yeah, lungs,
okay.
yeah. The bullet bounced off my lungs, hit the bone, bounced into my stomach.
Wow.
So they had to cut me open to get the bullet out or whatever. So that's when things changed. Because at that point, I thought I was somewhat, even though the doctor told me that I wasn't going to be able to breathe right, he told me that once I got my 30s, I was going to have major complications. The doctor pretty much made me feel like I was living off of spare time.
Spare time.
Yeah, so that's what made me feel like, okay, well, I got to go ahead and get everything done that I can get done, because I don't know when I'm going to die. You know what I'm saying? Because I got this doctor telling me that, I got a chipped lung, you know what I'm saying? I can't drink soda. I got a doctor telling me all this stuff. So as a kid, I'm thinking like, damn, maybe what this doctor's saying is true. So I got to go ahead and do everything I can do. And on top of that, I still feel invincible because I'm 13, got shot, and I lived. And I'm the only one in my neighborhood that got shot at the time. I was one of the younger ones that got shot and hit the news station. So I was already known in my city. Already at 13, everybody in the city already knew who I was. You know what I'm saying? For gun violence. You know what I'm saying? So then after time went on, I started playing football. I was able to play sports. So then I started thinking like, man, I think this doctor lying. Because he said I wasn't going to be able to play sports, but I'm playing sports. And I'm breathing fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So after that, then I started, realizing like, damn, I probably don't want to go too far into this game like that. Because what if I could live longer? What if the doctor's lying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
you got a new lease on life.
Yeah. So then once I got incarcerated, I went to jail, did my time. Once I got incarcerated, that's when I realized, okay, heck with the doctor talking about. I got to really prepare for my future. I got to really do something that's going to make me well in the future. So that's when I started diving into my music and diving into my craft.
Let me ask you a question. When you, okay, so it's like it's not really a question. It is a question in the end. You got shot, chip lung. Maybe you won't breathe the same anymore. You on borrowed time. Your life will never be the same. So as a young person, your psyche was all over the place, I would assume, because it would be for me. Somebody told me at a young age, you panicking. So you say, I want desperation. I don't know what I'm going to get. Let me just get everything done now. Tupac mentality. YOLO, you only live once. Between that, getting incarcerated. When you were incarcerated, right, and just want you to be honest with it, did you ever think about your dad when you were incarcerated? Yes. And let me mention that. The father is the first teacher to the son, as far as role model wise. The mother is the first teacher of the child, but the father is the first role model for his son. I want you to briefly, you don't have to go in detail, but tell me about your pops as far as what you thought about him in prison.
Well, see, my dad died when I was 17. My dad died when I was younger. But the first gun I had was my dad's. Mm-hmm. The first drug I sold was to his friend. You know what I'm saying? So the first gun I used was his. So my dad, you know, I ain't gonna say that he didn't influence me to get into things, you know what I'm saying? But he was into things, so I was able, while he at work, I'm able to just go steal whatever he had and just go out there and do what I want to do with his items, you know? So my dad, you know what I mean, you know, he loved me to death. He was, despite all that, rather if he came to my game drunk, rather if he came to my games high, he was there. You know what I'm saying, rooting me on. My dad loved me to death, and that really gave me the endurance and the energy to say, you know what, I'm gonna keep fighting. When I was in prison, I started writing. I wrote my first story about him. You know,
which was titled what?
Father Story. You know, I never put it in a book form. I just wrote the story about me and him or whatever.
How did that motivate you in there? Because that's not a motivating place. When you wrote that, what type of like mental release was that for you? What kind of physical, what kind of mental therapy was that for you?
I mean, it helped me, you know. You know, because as a kid, man, you know, you realize, like, you know, your mom and your dad is your heroes.
No doubt about it.
You know what I'm saying? When they there. Now, your mom and your dad is your heroes. So when they get taken from you, you kind of look for something else to kind of, like, replace it. That feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go back and look at it now, I'm like, damn, at 17, I was just a kid.
Right.
So I really had to go, like, as far as now, like, I'm the age I'm now, and I still need guidance from an older man.
Yeah.
I still need an older man to tell me, to sit here and be like, yo, man, nah, you leaning too
this
far.
way,
Move
that way.
So at 17, I'm realizing, like, damn, I really had to go to the streets. I really had to go to here to really, like, you know, to get that fatherly. Because that, no matter how hard you is, no matter how tough you are, everybody wants a fatherly presence.
No doubt about it.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody does. It's
a special place that I think God puts in your heart, because that's why, you know, we can reproduce.
Yeah.
You know, there's an affinity that a parent has for the child and a child has for the parent. That's why it's a bond that can't be broken only by them. Can't be broken by nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Like when you hear Pac say, and even as a crack fiend, mama, you always was a... Think about that. Like his mother, for the most part of his life, wasn't even she was doing Black Panther, and she got on drugs and doing this. But in his mind, that's mom. And then when he got back right, first thing he want to do was buy his mama a house. When he got on death row, like, he bought my mama a house. You know, so I want to go into this part, because this, you know, you're bringing up a lot of good points. You're connecting the dots, which is what a good interview is about. When you were released, what was the first thought in your mind as far as yourself and what you wanted to do?
Man, when I was released, first thing...
Let that marinate. Let that marinate now.
But the first thing... I mean, to be honest, I went to jail. My girl left me.
Keep it sensitive.
Yeah, my girl left me.
Gotcha.
My first thing when I said I'm coming home, I got this glow. I've been in the gym. I've been doing 1,000 push-ups. I'm on a pull-up bar. You know what I'm saying? Teeth white. I said, first thing I'm doing is going to go get one of her friends.
I got you.
Yeah, that was my first. I said that I have to do that. Now on the other side of the ball, I said the first thing I'm doing is going to the studio.
Okay.
I got a whole album ready to record.
Got it.
Yeah, I wrote 50 songs in here. It's time to go.
Got it. So let me connect the dots on this. We're going to get to the music in a minute, but you lead up to a good segue point. So books were first or films were first?
Books was first.
Right. You write on different subject matters. You've written books about child trafficking.
Yep, human trafficking.
You've written books about children growing up wanting, having desires to be lesbian, correct?
Yep.
You've written about, what's some other subjects you've written about?
About a kid living with HIV.
Okay.
I got the Car Guy and the Evil Fairy.
Right.
I got the book called Harrisburg.
Mm-hmm. So these films, these books that you've written, all talk about sensitive and taboo subjects that affect certain communities, Black and brown, Latino, the whole nine. When you're writing a book about the human trafficking, that is, and you wrote about it a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, about 4 years ago.
Right.
3 years
So what made you want to go down that road as an author? To talk about something that's it's a multi-billion-dollar business, black market.
Yeah, I mean, cause I'm always thinking to write something great.
Okay.
So I figure if I'm gonna sit here and take a year to write something, it has to be worth it.
Absolutely.
Like I don't want to sit here and write for a whole year and then the book's about the blue ribbon and and it's not worth it.
Yeah,
so whatever
generic.
So whatever I write, I know that it has to have something that's that means something and something that's powerful, something that's impactful. So at that time when I wrote that, I was in the Giant store, the grocery store, and I'm looking at this wall, and I'm seeing all these missing people. I'm like, damn, all these people can't just be getting kidnapped.
Right.
I said, all these people just can't be getting kidnapped. And at that time, it was a lot, even in Atlanta, like it was like a whole bunch of human trafficking rings. They, cops was busting a lot of people that was human trafficking. So that's when it really inspired me to write that story. So I just started doing my homework on it, started where is human trafficking mainly at, where's the most kids getting kidnapped and all this other type of stuff. And I just started putting together the story.
How emotional is it for you when you're writing? Because I know it's funny because you're a writer and I'm a journalist, so it's different. Because you write books, I write press releases, right?
Yeah.
So I know when I look at an artist or entrepreneur writing about them, I really got to get into their psyche so deep. So when I write it, it feels like I'm writing like an autobiography of them in 300 words. So how personal is it for you? Like how deep do you go into the abyss of your subject matter?
Man, I try to go as deep as I can go. Like I feel like if I'm writing a story and it doesn't make me want to get emotional, or it doesn't make me want to cry, or if it doesn't touch me like that, then I didn't do a good job.
Right.
So my main goal my main goal for real is to make somebody cry when they read my book. Like I want you to be that much deep into the story that it's crushing your heart. Like this story is heartfelt. Like there's so much pain in this story that you see this, even if this person is wrong in the story, you still understand them. Even if they chose to do this, you still could say, damn, I understand why he or she went that way. Look what they've been through.
Let's roll into the filmmaking. You've written so many successful books, Preston. You've been through, when people replay this interview and they hear all the different things that could have went wrong, the story could have really never been told, right?
Yeah.
Real talk. Because technically you were born to lose based on your early environment, if you understand where I'm coming from. But you were bred to win. Because breeding comes from training, developing. People breed dogs, they breed horses and stuff like that. They breed them for whatever. You were breeded to be a visionary, leads into the movies, right? I love Spike Lee, John Singleton. I love Spielberg, all those guys, and what they do, Tyler Perry, all those guys. When you want to pick up a camera and say, I have a vision, explain the Preston Dent filming experience.
When I want to pick up a camera and have a vision.
Yeah, talk to me, man.
When I want to pick up a camera and have a vision, like the first thing I'm thinking like, okay, this story might be like a Tyler Perry film.
Okay.
This story might be like a James Patterson film.
Or
This story might be like a Steven Spielberg or Wes Craven. So that's the first thing that's going through my head. So I'm like, well, which one could I possibly shoot? Because I know I can't shoot this. I can't shoot this. It's a $300 million project. I can't shoot that. Now, when I look at the Tyler Perry films, I could shoot them. I could shoot a Tyler Perry film because Tyler Perry's films, even though they're great, but the budget, it's not a very hard task to shoot a Tyler Perry film. You know, he just got the little storyline. So the first thing I'm thinking is what movie can I shoot myself?
Yeah.
Without me having to have $1 million budget. You know, like what budget could I afford to you know, what budget do I have to shoot the film? Because when you go to shoot a film, you gotta realize you gotta have a budget.
No doubt about it.
You gotta realize you gotta be able to have all the little cute little stuff. You gotta have the, you know, the props, and all that stuff. You gotta get the permits. You gotta get all that stuff.
Location fees.
You got, and then if you want to shoot a real good movie, you gotta be able to pay some D-class, C-class actors or whatever. You know,
Fill-in, stand-in.
Yeah, so all that come into play. You gotta have wardrobe, makeup. You gotta be able to feed people, all that stuff.
So when I'm going back, I'm watching old interviews of Spike Lee, you know, and different people. They always talk about like a maze in their mind when they put together a movie. It's like they see so many moving parts. You think about like all the great movies, Boys in the Hood. Think about how all those things come together. What does your mind give us in a snapshot, a synopsis of like what is your mind like when people say action? Like what's going through your brain to create scenes? Like, cause I'm like, it's like Power with 50 or Courtney Kemp. Shout out to Courtney Kemp. Like a director's mind is so fluid, it's so open, it's so expansive, it's so, you know, panoramic. Like it's like everything. Like, what? It's like, tell me how it's moving in your mind.
Mine, it's moving from A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like I see a story from A, B, C, D, E, F. Now that's how I see a story. Like I like to start the story from the beginning base. Like you got some directors and writers, they might like to start their stories from the middle of a person's journey. You know, they might start when the kid or a person's 21, 18. Like me, I like to start it from the birth of the character, from the youth of the character all the way up.
Let's talk about some of your movies that you have out right now. Give us some of those titles and a briefing of what they're about.
Okay, I got The Alcoholic Bruce, which is a comedy. It's a comedy. It's about a guy that, you know, he's having drinking problems. He got 3 baby moms. They all live on the same street.
That's creative.
And his life is just chaotic, man. He's getting drunk, and he's a very funny guy. You know, being a comedian is his passion, but he's just so drunk and always messing up. You know, his daughter don't like him because he, you know, so his life is pretty much in a scramble. So that's the first full-length movie that I did, Alcoholic Bruce.
Okay.
So then I got a short. It's called Twisted Morals. That's just an urban tale. You know what I mean? You know, some hood stuff.
Got it.
The Twisted Morals one. And I got like 6 little movios that like I shoot like a music video with it. But it's in movie form though. Like how the R. Kelly's. Like how R. Kelly
Trapped in the Closet.
Yeah, like how R. Kelly did it.
Yeah,
I
that
got
was
like
dope.
4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Business wise, you've been making serious moves in the past 12 months. Even before I met you, you've launched Panoramic Vision Films.
Yeah.
You've launched Panoramic Vision Lifestyle blog. You Google your name and it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
When you look at everything now, the hard work you've put in, the dedication, the money you've been investing into yourself, how do you feel about, from the kid who got shot, who could barely breathe, and now, how do you feel about yourself?
Man, look, I tell you what, man, I feel like it's been a long time coming, man. Like I feel like, you know, to go from here to here, and I still got to go further, it's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people I grew up with, man, they ain't here to like to tell the story with me. You know what I'm saying? Like him, like this, like he was a person that was there, that was part of the movement for years. You know what I'm saying?
Grind.
So like, it just feel good, man. To still, I mean, it has its downs that a lot of people that I started with, they're either incarcerated or they're just, they're just not well off anymore, and you get lonelier at the top, man. The higher you get, the more people fall off.
Do you see the path now?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, when you're building a company, you don't see the path in the beginning because you're building.
Yeah.
Kind of like this building you're in right now.
Yeah.
Before it was all it is, it was just a building. And
Yeah.
then this was created. But that came from people's visions, people's hard work, people's money, people's blood, sweat, time, tears, and whatever. When I look at you, I see the path of everything, of all of the seeds that you've been planting, and they're blooming now with your lifestyle blog, the podcast. By the way, Panoramic Vision, Vision Lifestyle just got picked up by Pandora for the podcast, and I was going to tell you about that. So salute. So you got your own podcast for the magazine. You got a blog. You got your Crunchbase profile. You got your film company. You got IMDb. You got all these books. You got film projects coming up. You have the office space. You got the trucking company. You have, what's the other products you have?
Shampoo and hair conditioner.
Shampoo and hair conditioner.
Dog breed.
So let that marinate for a minute. We just named like 7 different things coming up from a guy who the doctor said, you on borrowed time.
Yeah.
So I say all that, and I tell people I never look back and regret. I look back and reflect. I always tell people that. Because reflection on, you're going to reflect if you made progress. I tell people losers never reflect on nothing because they never done nothing.
Right.
So by 10 years go by, they in the same slot. Like when I was doing podcasting back in 2015, Malik Yo was my first guest because I wrote about him. He had just got on Power. And I didn't know I wrote about him on Dad's birthday. He put the thing on his Facebook and said, whoever wrote this, I want to talk to you. That's how I got an interview. If you go to Google Malik Yoba, $1 Million Mindset, my interview pop up at the top. He gave me my first shot. And I was nervous as I don't know what, because here I am interviewing the guy I used to watch on TV.
Yeah.
The first dark-skinned guy that was doing it, him and Wesley, he was really doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he's still bigger than life to me. But he said, what you did was extraordinary. So you can get the interview. And that's how I launched it. But here is what I'm saying. Like, I can look back and reflect because I put in the work. You can look back and reflect because look at the work you've put in. And you've been through a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
You dealt with a lot of snakes and frauds and people that just wasn't adding value to the brand.
Yeah.
How's it been the past 12 months with your new team?
Well, I mean, sometimes it get overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? Because I invested a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money to where I feel like if I'd invested the money I invested into my career into something else, I probably feel like I'd have been a millionaire already. You know what I'm saying? So I invested a lot of money that didn't count for nothing. So within the last 12 months, my investment, I see the progress. You know what I'm saying? I see the results. I'm seeing where I need to go. I'm seeing what matters now. Like as far as like I used to have little blogs, but they wasn't Google rated. Mm-hmm. Now I mean, like I was paying PRs thousands of dollars, and the blogs that they were getting me wasn't even Google rated. Mm-hmm. Like I couldn't even Google the blog and see it up there. Or I get blogs and I go look up the blog, they're not even up there no more. They was being taken down. Mm-hmm. So within the last 12 months, which is y'all, I mean the blessing of y'all, now
RADIOPUSHERS,
I see everything together. Like you see, I got the Google Knowledge Panel. You know what I'm saying? Now I Google my name, everything pulls up. Now I Google my name and it's more stuff under my name than I think people's damn on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I see the progress now. I see what I've been investing in. I could smile and say, you know what?
Trust in the process.
Yeah, I can smile now. I can say, I invested this money, man. I can smile.
Yeah.
I can go to people that I'm close to and be like, yo, man, look, I've been investing in this. Look, this is my results.
Yeah.
I can say, listen, don't go to my website, don't go to my Facebook, just Google my name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just Google my name.
Yeah. How does that feel?
Look, it feel bossy, man.
It feel bossy. I like that.
Bossy. Like I feel good to say that to people. Yo, where can I find your stuff at? Hey, listen, bro, just Google Preston A Dent.
Yeah.
Just Google my name and everything will pop up that you want.
The thing I like about you, as we dovetail this out, is you've never complained. about nothing on this journey. About the money, about nothing. You always been consistent. I think the thing I like about you the most is I always tell people you're not going to see everything, but you need to understand where you want to go. That's something my dad used to tell me. He said, son, you're not going to see everything, but understand where you want to go. I didn't know every step. I didn't see everything when I was doing what I was doing. Like I told you, when I used to pay people to post blogs, and I had a middleman for this, middleman for that, but Radio Pusher was never going to be what it is now if I would have kept going that route. So you get the right people around you. You get the right smarter people. I always say it's people way smarter than me.
Yeah.
That do certain things I can't do, but then I do things they can never dream of. So you put all us in the same room, and then it's beautiful. So my thing is to you is that you understand where you want to go. And now you look back and say, IMDb, Crunchbase Profile, I got a lifestyle blog, I got a team of journalists that write for my blog, every month. I'm on Google News. People can go to Alexa and say the name of your blog, and people can read your blog on Alexa.com. You got an iHeartRadio podcast, a Pandora podcast. You can actually interview people. You can monetize that. Those are tangible things that you can say, yo, pull me up on IMDb. I'm right there. Yeah. And then you got the books. Now you putting everything together, because before your plane can leave the ground, guess what the inspection is on a plane before it take off? They go over hours. Because if that plane crashes, everybody dies.
Right.
So think about what that pilot got. I got a buddy who's a pilot, sleep all day. They track how much he sleeps. He has a machine. They have to check in. He cannot get on the plane tired. He can't get on the plane wired. He can't get on the plane with no engine. He can't get on the plane with nothing. They're in a whole different space, whole different metaverse. Because what is he responsible for? Hundreds of lives. And if he get on that plane and everything not clicking up here, why you think he can't talk to a pilot?
So you gotta stay focused.
Exactly. You know what it's like, 30,000 feet going 500 miles an hour? That ain't no, yo, man, can you pull over? Where you gonna pull over to? That ain't a street corner. What I'm saying is, you gotta know your destination. His job is to get us to, or her job, shout out to the female pilots, is to get us to a destination safely. Your dreams have a pilot. It's you. So you better make sure that you have the right team, which is what I'm glad you have. And we're honored to be in partnership with you. And that's why I'm glad we can do what we do on the budget we do to get where we are now. And I'm glad you're here. How you feel about being in the House of His studios today, man?
Hey, man, listen, I've been waiting for what? From the time you told me I was coming, I've been waiting. I've been telling my guys, yo, man, I'm coming down. I'm finally coming down. I'm finally going to be here.
Let's talk about, in conclusion, who are some people that really mean a lot to you that, I ain't got to get a whole laundry list because, like they said in the thing, if you was winning an Oscar, you can't thank everybody, but just who's some people that really just like, that just really kind of like change you in a good way?
Well, I mean, it would have to be, of course, mom, of course.
Shout out to moms.
Yeah, shout out to moms, man.
Shout out to
That's
moms.
my warrior, man. That's my everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, besides my kids,
Sure.
Mom is like, you ever hear of Vladimir Putin say, like, man, what's life without Russia? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's my saying from my mom. Like, what's life without mom? You know what I'm saying? Like, for everything that I wanted to achieve and everything I wanted to do, like, it wouldn't even be pleasurable if she couldn't see it. You see what I'm saying? And she wouldn't be able to see me, like, achieve everything that she seen me put my life into. It wouldn't even be that pleasurable. But besides her, to be my kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, my kids is the, they the one that, like, I say, well, damn, I can't do this. Somebody doing something to me, I'm like, well, I can't go to jail for 10 years because this is my kid to be.
Yeah. Everything blow up.
Yeah, I can't do this because if I do this, then my daughter, she's 4, so I got to make sure that she's not dating Tommy Bozo. I got to still be in shape strong enough to beat him up if he's messing with my daughter. So I got to be here for her. So my kids is the one to keep me balanced. I'm like, I can't go over the edge. Like I can't dive into the water without no scuba gear. Because if I
that.
drown, then
They drown.
Yeah.
They drown.
So you know,
Your kids look at you like a superhero?
absolutely, absolutely, man. They
Never let them hit the ground.
Yeah, and I even give my older ones body shots. I still give them whoopings. You know, I still do all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm still dad.
Last time I was talking, you was at the track.
Yeah,
you at the track meet. I heard what the coaches and the bullhorns going off.
Yeah, I'm at every track meet, every wrestling match, every football game. I ain't never missed a game or a track meet in none of my kids' lives with all the stuff I'm doing.
Last question. Legacy is everything. You know, everything you're doing now, you're doing for the future. That's what they always say, right? Mm-hmm. For your legacy and what you want to leave, the books, the movies, the blogs, the lifestyle, what message you want to send to people when you're gone?
Well, the message I want to send is like, if you don't learn nothing from me, is to never give up. You know what I'm saying? Because there's going to be people that ain't going to believe in you. It's going to be people that's going to want you to stop. It's going to be people that's praying on you to fall. It's going to be people that's going to laugh when you trip.
No doubt.
So, like just never give up, never quit, never stop. Because there was plenty of times I wanted to stop. And if I would have stopped then, I would have never met you.
True.
If I would have stopped then, I would never be here right now. If I would have stopped then, I would never have this $300 million project that is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So never quit, never stop. And never give up, never listen to what people say. The people that tell you can't do it, run away from them.
Yeah.
Like get as far away from them as possible. Because they the ones that's going to stop you. You know what I'm saying? And another thing is like, you know, like calculate your steps. Calculate your steps, man. And every step that you take, rather small or big, you know, like go with your brain and not your heart.
Absolutely.
You know, because your heart because the heart breaks. A heart could be broken. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you could believe.
The Bible says treacherous. No man knows it.
Yeah, like sometimes you could believe in something and you didn't really think it through.
Right.
Like you could believe in something but you didn't think it through. But
emotions.
But your emotions is telling you that this could happen, but you never thought it through. But when you think something through, you think from A to Z, you like, hold on once, this don't make sense.
Measure twice, cut once.
Yeah, like I ain't gonna be able to do this.
Insurmountable.
Yeah, like I'm 5. If I'm 4'2", how am I gonna go to the NBA?
A lot of effort, but the chance is low. I got you though.
Yeah, the point guard is 6'9" now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm 4'2". How am I gonna go to the NBA?
Maybe you can do physical therapy.
Yeah, I'm 110 pounds. How am I gonna be a linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Right, and that's not possible.
Yeah, it's not possible.
It's not possible.
So, but your heart is telling you, man, look, I want to go to the NFL.
Yeah.
But dude, you 3'5", you 80 pounds.
Yeah, it's a balance between the heart and the mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
Preston Dent, it's been an honor. I hope I did you justice. Absolutely. On the podcast today. I think people, when they sit back and like replay this, they're gonna feel and look at you totally different from everything. And the cool thing is you're not just a rapper or another black guy that did this or that. I think the evolution, which is the title of, I think I'm gonna call it, the evolution of a king is what you are. Preston Dent. Hip Hop since 1987, House of Hits. That's a rap, people. Let's get it.
House of Hits studio in Miami. The premier audio and visual studio experience in the world. Undisputed, undeniable, can't be refuted on any level. When you walk through these doors, you are walking into greatness, supreme being. DJ Khaled, Mary J. Blige, Busta Rhymes, Jack Harlow, the Migos, Kanye West, The Game, when they want to document their greatness and record their legacy. In Miami, when they touch down, House of Hits Studios. Period. There's certain places you go, there's certain environments you want to be inside to reach your optimum level, your zenith. When people go and play the Madison Square Garden in New York City, they play at a higher level than they do in any other stadium. That's because they know the history of that building. Same thing here with the House of Hits studio in Miami. The ecosystem they've created is on another level. Hip hop since 1987, the number one hip hop blog and media outlet in the world, undisputed, cannot be denied, cannot be refuted. Since 1987, they have been the most connected brand to the streets, documenting the authentic stories without compromising integrity. They don't do it for clout at Hip Hop since 1987. They do it for the purity of the game, giving you the real story. The first Meek Mill freestyle ever recorded on Hip Hop since 1987. Sitting down with Nipsey Hussle back in 2014 talking about Victory Lap before it was even released. Shout out to the great Nipsey Hussle. Hip Hop since 1987, House Hit Studios in Miami. Two juggernauts, two conglomerates. Now we document history. Now we record our legacy. Welcome to the Hip Hop since 1987 podcast, coming to you live from the House of Hit Studio in Miami. Let's get it, people. You know how we do it.